If you've ever caught yourself saying, it's just quicker if I do it myself, you're not alone. It's one of the most common sentences in hospitality leadership, and one that is the most dangerous because it sounds harmless, even efficient. But what it really means is I don't trust that anyone else would do this the way that I would. And when that mindset becomes your default, something starts to break. Your time disappears, your energy drains, and before you know it, you've built a business that can't function without you. That's not leadership, that's captivity. And I know because that used to be me. I believed that if I wanted things done right, then I had to do them myself. That my standards were too high, my eye for detail just was too sharp, and my way was the only way. But what I didn't realize was that by trying to control everything, I was limiting not just my team, but my own growth. Delegation isn't about letting go of control, it's about leading through trust. And in this video, I want to show you how to do it. Welcome to the LEADwell channel, where we explore the inner world of leadership, well-being, and what it means to build a business that doesn't break you. Hi, my name's Trevor. I've run a multi-award-winning restaurant and cocktail bar for the last 10 years, and I also coach and consult hospitality leaders who want to find balance, not just in business, but in themselves as well. The balance didn't come easily for me. When I first started Oko Rocco, I was obsessed with perfection. Every plate, every drink, every customer interaction had to be flawless. And because I cared so deeply about getting it right, I convinced myself that the only way to maintain those standards was to do it all myself. So I did. I managed the accounts, I designed the menus, I trained the staff, I handled suppliers, fixed equipment, hosted events, managed the rota, and I still tried to be the face of the brand. I wore every hat, and at first it worked until it didn't. Eventually, my team started to pull back. They stopped making decisions without me, they lost confidence, and I lost perspective. The harder I worked, the less things seemed to move forward. I thought I was protecting the business, but really I was suffocating it. And somewhere in all of that, I completely burnt out. I was tired, resentful, and carrying everything alone. Delegation wasn't just a business problem, it was an identity one. I didn't know who I was outside of being the person who had to fix everything. It took me years to learn that letting go wasn't weakness, it was actually wisdom. That trust doesn't reduce standards, it multiplies them. And that a leader's real job isn't to do everything, but to build people who can. In this video, I want to show you how to delegate without fear, to lead through trust instead of control. We'll look at the mindset shift that makes delegation feel safe, the structure that helps it work, and the emotional freedom it gives you when you finally stop trying to hold on so tightly. This isn't about giving up control, it's about creating clarity, because clarity is what builds trust, and trust is what builds strong teams. If you're watching this and thinking that sounds like me, constantly juggling everything, feeling like you can't step away, and if you do it'll all fall apart, I want to help you see where that pressure is really coming from. That's exactly what my business and wellness quiz does. It helps you to pinpoint where you're overextended, where structure is missing, and where small changes could free up your time and your energy. You can take it for free, the link is below. You remember, you carry a lot and you deserve the tools and the support to carry it well. So let's start with why delegation feels so hard. We often say we can't delegate because others aren't ready, or because standards will drop, or because it's quicker to just do it ourselves. But the real reason runs deeper. It's fear. Fear of being let down, fear of losing control, fear of seeing someone else do something differently, and that difference feeling uncomfortable. As business owners, we've poured everything into what we've built. Our time, our money, our sanity. It's not just a business, it's a part of us. So of course, letting go feels risky, but here's the truth. Holding on too tightly doesn't protect your business, it weakens it, because when everything depends on you, nothing can grow beyond you. You become the bottleneck. You stop being the leader and you start being the limiter, and that's not sustainable. Delegation isn't the enemy of standards, it's the foundation of scale. If you want your business to thrive, you have to give others the opportunity to thrive within it. When I was deep in control mode, I thought I was being efficient, but what I was really doing was teaching my team that I didn't trust them. They'd ask me to approve things they already knew how to do. They'd wait for my go-ahead instead of taking initiative. They'd second-guess themselves because they didn't want to get it wrong. The more I stepped in, the less they grew. And the less they grew, the more I resented them for not growing. It was a vicious cycle, and it all started with me. When you hold on to everything, you create dependency, and dependency kills ownership. It also kills creativity. Your team stops thinking because they know that you'll do it anyway. And that's not leadership, that's management by exhaustion. The cost of control is your freedom, and the cost of that freedom is your health. So how do we change it? The first step is to shift your mindset from control to clarity. Control says, I need to do this and make sure it's done right. Whereas clarity says, if I explain what right looks like, someone else can do it well. Control assumes people can't meet your standards, whereas clarity teaches them how to meet those standards confidently. When I started approaching delegation as a part of communication instead of surrender, everything changed. I realized people don't need my constant input. They need a clear direction. They need to know what good looks like, why it matters, and how it fits into the bigger picture. And once I gave that to them, I didn't have to control the process anymore because I trusted the outcome. And that's the heart of delegation, not perfection, clarity. Here's a simple structure that helped me learn how to delegate with trust. I call it the clarity loop. Step 1, you define the outcomes clearly. Before you hand something over, you ask yourself, do they know what success looks like? Be specific. What's the goal? What does good mean? What are the non-negotiables? Step 2, provide context. Explain why the task matters. When people understand the purpose, they take more ownership over it. It's the difference between, can you do this? And here's why this needs doing, and here's how it fits into what we're building. Step 3, equip and train. You can't expect people to meet a standard that you haven't shown them. Give them the tools, the examples, and the feedback that they need to succeed. Step 4, empower autonomy. Step back, let them make their decisions their way. You can't build confident leaders if you never give them space to lead. Step 5, reflect and review. You schedule a check-in, not a micromanage, but to celebrate what worked and improve what didn't. That's how you build consistency, through feedback, not control. Once I started using this loop, everything became easier. People knew what was expected, they felt trusted, and I stopped feeling like the business was constantly slipping out of my hands. The moment you start leading through trust, the entire energy of your team changes. People go from waiting for direction to taking initiative, from avoiding mistakes to learning from them, from doing what they're told to caring about what they create. Trust turns a workplace into a community. When I started trusting my managers to handle areas of the business without me, they started coming to me with ideas instead of problems. They made decisions that made sense for the bigger picture. And for the first time, I wasn't the only one who cared that deeply. Delegation didn't make me less important, it made the team more powerful. And that's the goal, because leadership isn't about being the hero, it's about building more heroes. Now let's be honest, delegation doesn't always go perfectly. Things will go wrong, mistakes will happen, but that doesn't mean that delegation failed. It just means that you found an area that needs clearer communication or better support. When something goes wrong, pause and assess. Was the instruction unclear? Was the training incomplete? Or was the follow-up missing? Most of the time, it's not that the person failed, it's that the system did. And when you fix the system, people flourish. How you respond to mistakes defines your leadership more than the mistake itself. If you react with blame, people shrink. If you respond with curiosity, people grow. The moment you stop punishing failure, you start encouraging learning. And that's how you build a team that's not afraid to take responsibility. Delegation isn't just good for business, it's essential for your well-being. Every task you refuse to let go of is another piece of energy that you're spending on the wrong thing. It's another hour stolen from your recovery, your family, your creativity, and your peace. When I finally started delegating properly, I got my life back. I had time for my morning breath work, time for my 3D printing and painting, time to think clearly, plan ahead, and actually enjoy the process again. And nothing fell apart. In fact, everything worked better because I was leading from clarity, not chaos. You don't need to do everything to be respected. You just need to do the right things with purpose and presence. That's the real mark of a strong leader. Delegation is the heartbeat of the direct with clarity pillar in the LEADwell framework. L is look inward, recognize where fear of letting go is draining you. E is establish rhythm, build regular delegation into your leadership flow. A, align your energy, focus only on what truly needs your attention. And D, direct with clarity, is communicate standards clearly, trust others to execute, and hold space for reflection. When you work this way, you stop firefighting and you start directing. You move from chaos to clarity, from exhaustion to empowerment. And that's what leading well looks like. So let's bring this together a bit. Delegation isn't about giving up control, it's about giving direction. It's not about lowering standards, it's about lifting understanding. It's not about trusting blindly, it's about communicating clearly. When you stop trying to do everything, you create space for your team to grow and for yourself to breathe. You regain the time and energy to focus on the things that only you can do, the vision, the culture, the leadership. And when you delegate well, you don't just build a stronger team, you build a stronger you. When I look back now, I can see that my need for control came from fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of not being needed. But the moment I let go, that fear turned into freedom. I realized my value wasn't in doing everything, it was in empowering others to do well. And that's when leadership stopped being a burden and became a partnership. If you're scared to delegate, start small. Give one task to one person this week. Be clear about what success looks like in that task. Give them space to do it in their way, and then step back and watch to see what happens. You might be surprised by how capable people really are once you give them permission to be. Trust doesn't weaken a leader, it strengthens everyone around them. And once you learn to lead through trust, not control, you'll never want to go back. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like and a subscribe. It helps me, it helps the channel, and it helps people like us find the content that really matters. And as always, I'd love to remind you that you matter too. Don't forget that.